Coming up, more information tonight about the state trooper involved in a highway shootout with a Fargo crime suspect. State officials in North Dakota are reporting the first confirmed case of monkeypox. And making U.S. aviation history, how a Minnesotan is now the first woman to fly for the Navy's Blue Angels. Hello and welcome to the Nightly Review. I'm Tom Tucker. We begin with a look at tonight's headlines, then a one-on-one conversation with the CEO of Churches United in Moorhead, where the organization has just been awarded a $4 million state grant. Pastor Sue Koesterman says she and her staff are elated, and she'll talk about how the organization plans on spending the money and their efforts to help homeless people in the area. But first tonight, the North Dakota Highway Patrol is identifying the trooper who exchanged gunfire with and shot Fargo crime suspect Michael Tuesday night. Trooper Miles Ronimish shot Yusa twice, leaving the hit-and-run suspect with a non-life-threatening injury. He was treated at Sanford and then taken to the Cass County Jail. Yusa is also accused of firing a gun from an apartment balcony. The trooper has been with the Highway Patrol now for 2 years. He is on paid leave while the shooting is under investigation. Now, the motorcyclist allegedly struck by Michael Yusa in the hit-and-run has been identified. The Highway Patrol says 34-year-old Eric O'Meara was struck by Yusa on I-29 late Tuesday afternoon. The Horace man suffered a severe concussion and road rash from the crash and experienced seizures while being taken to Sanford Health. A GoFundMe campaign for O'Meara has now raised about $8,000. A Fargo firefighter is under investigation for allegedly physically assaulting a 9-year-old boy. The parents of Noah Walker say the firefighter, who's their neighbor, was angry after their dog relieved itself on the firefighter's lawn. The parents say the firefighter pushed the dog into the boy, causing the child to fall. Noah's father, Trevor Graining, says the boy was left with a mark and a red ear and says the doctor determined the boy suffered a concussion. Noah's parents say the investigation is stalled because the firefighter denies harming their son. Officials at North Dakota's Department of Health say they've identified the state's first case of monkeypox. Initial testing confirmed the person is infected with the virus. Health officials say the individual likely acquired the virus while traveling out of state. We're told most people with monkeypox recover without treatment. A step in the right direction, that from Cass County Sheriff Jesse Johnner, after Cass County Commissioners this week approved a plan to take a closer look at exactly what a county jail expansion could look like.
What they've approved is just to move ahead with some architectural design. I can't really speak to the full, whether all that stuff gets approved or not. That's really up to the commissioners. What I can speak to, though, obviously, is the need and why I was looking and requesting some additional space at the jail.
Sheriff Johnner says the need is critical and says the jail is running out of beds. Preliminary plans for a possible jail expansion call for adding 100 beds, and the cost would be in the range of about $50 million. The majority of car crash deaths in North Dakota involve unbelted drivers and passengers. That's the word tonight from the Department of Transportation. An official says 67% of crash deaths so far this year were among drivers and passengers who were not wearing seatbelts. Officials say seatbelts are the most effective safety device to prevent crash deaths and injuries. 18 crash deaths this year were related to lane departures, 12 were speed related, and 10 involved motorcycles. In Minnesota, weekly COVID testing is being dropped for unvaccinated state employees. The requirement went into effect in September 21, leading to thousands of employees taking tests each week. Employees who didn't comply with testing requirements faced possible suspension or other discipline. Officials say the requirement was ended because of the evolving nature of the virus. Also in Minnesota, a Wadena County man is dead after being run over by a tractor. The accident happened Tuesday morning in Wing River Township. Raphael Kern and another person were working on the broken down tractor when it began moving and ran over Kern. Kern was trapped between the tractor and the baler it was pulling. He was airlifted to an area hospital where he later died. Republican candidate for lieutenant governor in Minnesota, Matt Burke, is affirming comments that he made about women and abortion. The former Minnesota Vikings center made the comments at the National Right to Life Conference in Georgia last month, saying, "American culture promotes abortion partially by telling women, quote, they should have careers." Burke says he made the same comments at more than 200 pro-life events over the past 10 years. And finally, on a lighter note, the first female pilot just selected to fly with the Navy's Blue Angels is a native of Mounds View, Minnesota. Lieutenant Amanda Lee enlisted in the Navy while attending the University of Minnesota Duluth, graduating from Recruit Training Command in 2007. She was commissioned in 2013 after graduating from Old Dominion University and became a naval aviator in 2016. Her call sign is Stalin. Well, if you enjoy watching the Nightly Review to stay on top of all that is happening in the FM Metro and the surrounding region, now would be a great time to subscribe and hit the bell button below. If you've already done that, thanks a lot for supporting the program. Well, the weather around the region today was really quite nice and frankly hard to beat. Meteorologist Justin Storm is in the Skywatch Weather Center tonight with a look at what we can expect over the next couple days.
Thanks, Tom. Throughout the remainder of this evening, we'll have a 10 to 25 mile per hour wind, lightening up to 5 to 15 out of the west-southwest, with a slight chance for an isolated storm or two, but favoring the southern valley before midnight. Overnight, down to a low of 61. We're back right around 90 on Friday, mostly sunny with a south wind 5 to 15, and a likely chance for some scattered showers, even a couple of storms late overnight Friday into Saturday morning, then a likely chance for a handful of scattered showers on Saturday with a high near 80.
It could happen to you or someone you love. One moment, one diagnosis can change everything. Thankfully, there's a program that helps caring people uplift families through a crisis. Lend a Hand Up, raising financial help and hope through community benefits and online campaigns. A program that boosts generosity so gifts go further. Lend a Hand Up helps you help your neighbors. Learn more and give at lendahandup.org.
Welcome back to the Nightly Review. The CEO of Churches United in Moorhead is expressing elation after learning the agency is receiving a $4 million state grant to make much needed improvements at their Micah's Mission homeless shelter. I first asked Pastor Sue Koesterman to talk about how the grant from Minnesota's Office of Economic Opportunity came about.
Yes, so the money that we're receiving is part of a one-time pot of money that was set aside by the Minnesota legislature to be dispensed through the Department of Human Services for renovation and rehabilitation of existing shelter spaces. And so we put together an application in January of this year. We did a full facilities analysis of our Micah's Mission facility and made the request to Department of Human Services. And we were so thrilled to get the news that we had been awarded pretty much every cent that we asked for the remodel here at Micah's Mission.
I asked Koesterman what it was about their particular grant application that allowed them to be successful.
Well, Churches United has a long history of working with a variety of folks in the community. And so teamwork is just how we're built. And so when the opportunity came forward, we reached out to one of our board members who is a principal architect with Artecta, and he helped us to gain the design services of some mechanical engineers and a structural engineer. And so being able to leverage that professional expertise allowed us to put forward a very complete, very detailed request for the funding. And so our friends at Artecta and MBN and Liberty, they helped to structure like the building expertises part. And then myself and my team here at Churches United, we brought what we do best, and that's to tell the story of the people we serve and how we seek to serve our neighbors here in the community. And those two things put together were a very, very strong application. So again, all about the teamwork.
Koesterman also talked in detail about the repairs and improvements that will happen at Micah's Mission as a result of the grant.
So some of the most expensive parts of what we're doing will be things that aren't readily seen. And that's a full overhaul of our heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system. And so we have areas in the building now that have very poor zone control. We have areas in the building that don't have heat or air conditioning at all. And so updating our heating, ventilation, air conditioning system and adding a boiler will allow us to fully utilize this building in ways that we've never been able to do before. We'll also be re-roofing the building. Once upon a time, there were skylights in this building. The skylights aren't there anymore, but anytime we have a hard rain or a big snow melt, we have places where it leaks, where the skylights used to be. So we're very excited about re-roofing. Most of the doors and windows in the building will be replaced, and that will gain us energy efficiency. All of the light fixtures in the building will be converted from fluorescent tube to LED. That will also give us some significant energy savings. But then the things that people will see when they come in is, because we're adding a boiler downstairs, we're going to be able to add 8 family rooms, 3 bathrooms, an additional laundry area in the basement, which currently we can't use for shelter or offices at all. We'll also be moving our finance and development teams downstairs into new office space in the basement. And that in turn will allow us to fully utilize the main floor here at Micah's Mission for shelter and guest services and programming.
I'd like to thank Churches United CEO Pastor Sue Koesterman for joining me for tonight's one-on-one conversation. She says the work at Micah's Mission will begin in August and should be complete by early next summer. Koesterman says the work won't expand the footprint of the facility, but will allow them to make much better use of the space that they do have. That includes adding 8 more rooms for families. Well, that will do it for this Thursday night, July 21st, 2022. I'm Tom Tucker. Thanks for watching the Nightly Review.